Well, it's grading day and the last day of the third quarter. It's been just about a year now since kids went into quarantine. And now, after spring break, they're coming back. In the words of Samuel L. Jackson, hold on to your butts. Stick with me and let's talk about how to get ready. Hi, and welcome to Classroom Confidential. My name is Christopher Youngren, and I'm a middle school ELA teacher in Tucson, Arizona. Here on this channel, I share tips and strategies I've used both in person and online, things that keep me sane and my students engaged. I'm delighted to share my ideas and experiences with you. So welcome. Well, it's been almost a year that this pandemic has been a part of our daily lives, and almost that long since kids have been out of school attending virtually, at least here in this district in Tucson, Arizona, and they're finally coming back. At least some of them. Some of them are still staying home virtually. Some of them are going to be here in person. Hybrid, yay. I'm still not entirely sure what it's going to look like, but the one thing we know for certain is that come next Monday, they will be back in our classrooms. So the first thing I need to keep in mind actually takes me back to my Boy Scout days. Yeah, believe it or not, I was a Boy Scout at one point in time before I dropped out to become an actor, but that's an entirely different story. And now actually I'm the den leader for my son's Cub Scout troop, so it's all come full circle. But anyway, I digress. Be prepared. So many students have been waiting so long and so eagerly to come back to the classroom that when they do, you owe it to them to make it a nice environment for them to return to. If you are like me and the rest of the year you've been teaching virtually from your classroom, it's probably become kind of your own personal space. For me, it's kind of like a man cave away from home, but that has to come to an end. It is no longer going to be just my space. It is no longer just going to be your space. It's a classroom. It's finally going to be used for what it was designed to be used for. And when the students return, you owe it to them to give them a nice classroom to come back to. Make it the way you would make it if it was the first day of school. And it sort of is, except now the first day of school is coming in the fourth quarter, almost at the end of the year. But nevertheless, that doesn't give you an excuse to not clean up, not organize, and not give them the best possible environment you can for them to return to. So my room could still use a little bit of work, but it's a far cry from where it was a week ago when I had all the desks shoved into the middle and I had kind of a walking track around the outside of my room. One of the touches that I'm especially happy with is using flowers as a way of socially distancing. I mean, any old fool can put a masking tape X on a desk, but I thought flowers were a more festive and fun way of going about doing it. You also want to remember to communicate with your students that this is all new for you as well. Be honest with them. Tell them you're trying to figure this out too. This is a brand new experience for everybody. And as cliche as the term has become, you are all in this together. You are a community. You're the same community you were online, but now you're just mixing it up a little bit with some people still online and some people in the classroom. Now, more than ever, you need grace, you need compassion, you need kindness, you need caring, but you also need structure. It's not all about sitting around playing a guitar, because I don't know how, and singing Kumbaya. They still need that structure. Many of them have been left without structure all year long, and they desperately are in need of it. And so maybe the only way they're going to get it is by returning to the classroom. So you can't just let anything go and have this devil-may-care attitude. You are still a teacher and you still need to guide them through the learning experience. But yes, be a little gentler with them for the rest of the year, because these times are unlike any that any of us have experienced before, and we need to keep that uppermost in mind. But we need to also focus on community every day above curriculum. If you don't start with communication and connection with the students, then the curriculum part is a wash and you're never going to get anywhere with them. You also need to remember to meet them where they are. These kids, just like you, just like me, we've all been through a lot this year, and there's all this talk about the new normal. Well, what your new normal may be is going to look different than what my new normal is going to look different from Billy or Susie or Johnny or Jake. Everybody is coming from a different place, and just because you are approaching it through the lens of what you call your new normal doesn't mean that it's going to apply to everybody collectively across the board. So make sure that you are sensitive to what they've gone through, because what they've gone through, quite frankly, is trauma. Trauma, loosely defined, is sort of an upheaval of regular routines that lead to an inability for you to continue to carry out said routine. So yeah, everybody's world has been turned upside down this year, and they are coming from a traumatized place, and we have got to keep that in mind. And regardless of what your new normal looks like, keep in mind that their new normal might be different, and you need to be aware of that and meet them where they are. You also have to keep in mind that you are not going to be able to control absolutely everything. We are still living in a wild and weird world at this point, if you'll pardon the alliteration, and not everything is going to be 100% perfect. And adaptation is the name of the game. I was planning on teaching The Outsiders fourth quarter, and the schedule being what it is, I'm not going to have enough time. I'm literally only seeing the kids 2 days a week, Mondays and Thursdays, and then a second group Tuesdays and Fridays with like a study hall day on Wednesdays. And there's just no way really to teach an entire class novel like that. So what I'm doing is I'm going to have a book club on Wednesday instead, and those students who are interested in reading The Outsiders can show up and we can have a book club and maybe throw them a few extra credit points. Of course, the irony is the people who would show up for a book club aren't really the people that need the extra credit points, but it's about adapting. There are still variables that I cannot control, that you cannot control, that the students cannot control, and we do the best we can under the circumstances. Now more than ever, adaptation is absolutely essential. You can also use phrases like "I noticed" as a way of reconnecting with your students when you finally meet them in person. So many of them have spent so long feeling isolated and alone and unseen that one of the best things you can do when you finally do meet up with them is say, "Hey Bob, are those new shoes? Looking sharp there, pal." Or, "Mary, did you get a new haircut? It's really, really nice." Or, "Hey Belinda, you know you're a lot taller in real life than you were in your Zoom meeting." Kids need to be seen. Kids need to be recognized. Kids need to be validated as the unique individuals that they are. And that's one of the hardest things about the year that we've just come through. Nobody feels like they've been seen. Really, you can't be seen if you're distanced or if you're just another square on a Zoom screen. And so it's so important when they come back in person to really see them and really notice them and really appreciate them for the unique people that they are, and tell them that and say, "Gosh, it is so great to see you in person. It has been so long, and I'm so absolutely 100% delighted that you're back here in person." And for crying out loud, take care of yourself. I've said this in other videos, but self-care is so very, very important, especially when all of a sudden things are being upheaved again and we're going to be dealing with a brand new scenario. Check in with yourself. See how you're feeling several times a day. Make sure you're okay in every single moment, because sometimes you're not going to be, and you need to acknowledge that as well. What do I need to do in this moment to make a change for the better? And ask yourself throughout the day, because this is, again, a brand new scenario for all of us, and we need to take it easy on ourselves the same way we need to take it easy on our students. But if we're not taking care of ourselves, our mental health, our physical health, our emotional health, if we are not taking care of ourselves first and foremost, we are going to be absolutely no use whatsoever to our students. And finally, don't forget to bring the fun. Sure, there are going to be a mountain of new policies and procedures and behaviors, but unless you remember the reasons that kids wanted to be back in school in the first place, you are going to have an uphill battle on your hand for the rest of the year. You need to bring the excitement, bring the passion, bring the laughter, bring the joy, bring the fun, and make it a party. You can make it a party and follow the rules at the same time. They are not mutually exclusive. So please keep it in mind. The kids have been waiting so long to come back to school, and not just to see their friends and not just to socialize, but they want to see you as well. They want to meet their teachers in person, and so make it a party. Follow the rules, but party on, dudes, and be excellent to each other. Whatever the rest of your year looks like, I wish you the best of luck and the utmost respect. Teachers have been through the ringer this year. It has been a doozy, one for the record books. And those who can make it to the end of the year in one piece, I promise you, you can do absolutely anything. You are a superhero. Do not forget that. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you got value out of this video. If so, press that like button for me. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you'll be alerted every single time I release a new video. Be well out there, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and take care of those students. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.